Now, Doja Cat is one of those artists that has seemingly mastered the melding of different genres together. I'm talking about having mastered the ability of being able to rap and sing on a song without it sounding corny. I'm talking using her voice as an instrument with her different vocal inflections, which was popularized by Nicki Minaj, by the way, but it seems that Doja has really taken it to a next level of mastery. I'm talking about having songs with infectious hooks, but also let's not forget about her looks. She's everything that you can want for an entertainer, a dancer, a showman. I think she might really be the next princess of pop. Welcome to the night section. Today, I really wanted to get into Doja Cat and just how incredible this woman is as an artist. And I don't think people really talk enough about her talent. And it's funny because in the age that we live in, with the sweeties of the world and the acceptance of, to put it nicely, subpar talent, it seems that the art of performance has been lost. By the way, you can check out my video titled Sweetie and the Art of Performance. But when we do come across a rare talent like a Doja Cat, we don't give them the just due credit. But today, I'm here to do just that. Now, here are my 3 reasons why I think Doja Cat is the next princess of pop. Number 1, work ethic. For those of you guys who don't know, Doja Cat is definitely not one of those new artists that just came out of nowhere. And I'm talking even before the Move video back in 2018. Her debut as an artist can be traced all the way back to 2012, which seems like 5 years ago, I know, but it is indeed now 10. Long story short, she was posting on SoundCloud. Her now producer named Yeti Beats came across her music in a studio session, then reached out to her on Facebook and became the connect to her first and only record deal with RCA and Camel Savvy Records. And it seemed from the outside looking in as though it was only uphill since then. But obviously, as with any story, that is absolutely not the case. It actually takes work, multiple delays, failures, and effort over an extended period of time. Prior to releasing her most recent album, Planet Her, in 2021, Doja Cat released 2 albums and an EP. Her first project was the EP Purr, which dropped in 2014, and her first album, Amala, dropped in 2018. Then finally, we have the album Hot Pink, which dropped in 2019. And over the years, you can really hear and see the progression as she hones her style and voice and really also improves lyrically as an MC. Now, what's interesting and what I really wanted to point out is the amount of work Doja has been putting in since the beginning, not only musically, but in terms of her own promotion. Doja Cat has grown up with the internet, understands how the internet works, and has definitely used social media to her advantage in terms of marketing as well as connecting with her audience. She understands that the way to be heard is to be constantly seen. So from the beginning, she would be on Instagram Live almost every day, connecting with fans, having discussions, making beats, previewing and playing music.
I guess when it became important, it was when I started to go on live. And I would go on live for like 10 hours at a time, every single day.
On live 10 hours at a time? Would you take like breaks? Like, I'm going to go eat, I'll be back? Or how did that work?
No, I would eat on cam and I would just be sitting there making beats and stuff. Sometimes I'd leave. Like, I'd give myself a break. Yeah. But I wanted to do it. And
this is Instagram Live?
Yeah, Instagram Live. And then also Periscope was a thing for me.
I remember
too.
Periscope.
Periscope's so bad, dude. There's so many.
And in more recent times, she's mastered the art of making TikTok hits, with multiple songs trending on TikTok, more notably songs like a Say So or Streets, and that's of course due to the viral nature of the dances and challenges created on the platform. And the cool thing about these songs is that she incorporated the popular dances and challenges within her music videos. It's obvious that Doja Cat naturally has a pulse on how to market and just in general about creating internet moments, which is absolutely necessary, especially in this day and age, to have your music heard. And for a while, honestly, she was benched by her label. I mean, she's been signed since 2014, but really only started getting some major buzz in 2018 after the release of the ultimate internet moment, Moo, which definitely didn't come out of a big budget. But after that viral moment, it seemed as though Doja Cat was everywhere. Her label started working hard and Doja appeared to be working even harder. And I know there's been recent controversy surrounding her Instagram live rant and people reading too deeply into it with her feeling like she's not necessarily doing the things that she wants to do all the time. But we have to remember we all have those moments in any job, in any profession, literally in anything and everything. In any job, you're going to have to do things you don't like. And obviously Doja is a type of person with a work ethic who's not easily going to turn down an opportunity to get her name out there even more. But with all the promo, with all the marketing campaigns, with all the interviews, with all the photo shoots, it doesn't matter what you do, it will fall short if the music is not up to par. The reason why Doja Cat is all of a sudden really hitting it big is because her music is that good. She's worked herself to a point where her music is now marketable to a larger audience. She definitely has gotten her 10,000 hours of training. If not 10,000 hours, it's definitely close. And let's not also forget that she's an incredible performer, which leads into number 2, talent.
Because I'm like, I don't know if she would define it as that. Like, I don't even know if the genre exists that you would define your music as.
Yeah, that's not me.
If you had to, what would you?
Yeah,
categorize?
I would definitely categorize it as like pop, rap,
same,
hip hop. And R&B, just to be safe, because sometimes I do like really, smooth, kind of melodic and, sensual stuff.
In order for you to be any type of mega superstar, you have to have some inherent or cultivated talent. Doja Cat can sing, rap, and dance, and luckily with the invention of autotune and pitch correctors, you don't necessarily need to be a world-class singer, as long as you can hold a note. And Doja Cat isn't going to be your Tori Kelly, Beyonce, or even Ariana Grande in terms of vocal ability, at least not for now. But she sings well enough for it to sound good on a recording and in a live performance. Doja Cat actually mentioned in several interviews at this point that growing up she never really knew that she could sing, or rather that for a long time she was scared to do so.
As far as music, alrighty, had you always been around music? Was music in your family?
Yeah, but I've always been scared to sing, so I never expressed that. But I would dance. I danced a lot.
Why? Why not sing or express it?
I don't know what it is about like vocalizing. Like for me, I was more just like a quiet. I think I was like shy and quiet, so I just didn't feel like doing it. But then I like grew.
When does that come around for you, where you go from dancing to actually saying, letting people hear it, or kind of putting your...
It's when I like locked myself away in my room, and then I was like singing quietly. And then I was like, maybe I can do this.
At 16 is when she would get the courage to really start exploring her voice and vocal range. And if you listen back to her earlier material from that point on, you can definitely hear the progression in her voice over time. But another thing that she mentioned in the previous clip is the fact that she started dancing before anything else. And it's something you can definitely tell if you have watched any of her live performances, music videos, and even Instagram lives. When she was younger, she took dance classes, and while in high school, actually joined a hip-hop group / collective where she would compete in dance battles, more specifically in the popping and locking lane. And when it comes to rapping, I think a lot of people tend to forget that in the majority of her songs, she is actually rapping, and they neglect her pen and just her ability in general, which I presume is due to the melodic nature of her verses. And also maybe because she's not necessarily a quote-unquote serious rapper, which goes into what I think is the most important thing that really makes her super talented, is the fact that she has taken elements from pop, hip-hop, R&B, etc., basically multiple genres, combined them, and has made it digestible to a mainstream audience. Now, this is something very difficult to do because it's usually you're good at rapping and not necessarily singing, or vice versa. And this is something I personally think Nicki Minaj really pioneered when it comes to the female pop rap lane, but is what Doja Cat has basically perfected. And to add the performance side of it all, it's really something we've never seen before. She performs like a pop artist while rapping, doing big choreography numbers, giving you a show, a source of entertainment, really taking the performance side of things very seriously, when it's something historically most rappers tend to neglect. Doja Cat is a jack of all trades, really good at a little bit of everything, combining it, giving you pop star material. Number 3, the it factor. I really think Doja Cat has the it factor when it comes to this music industry stuff, and it makes a lot of sense coming from someone whose parents are both artists and creatives in their own right. Her mother is a painter and a designer, while her father, though he was absent in her life, was and is very famous in South Africa for being an actor, composer, film producer, and dancer. So the love of music, or rather the love of art in general, is very much in her blood. Now, if you watched any Doja Cat interviews, you get the feel that she's very out there, eccentric, goofy, and down to earth. Very different from what we're used to compared to the traditional pop star, where they are mostly clean cut and very careful with the things they say and how they say it. And I think this also makes her very popular because she seems so regular to us. We've never really had pop stars vent on Instagram Live or even show up on our screens without a full face of makeup. This is something new and recent thanks to social media, and she hasn't shied away from using that relatability factor, and this isn't something that's necessarily contrived, it's just natural to who she is, which is showing her true colors out loud, and it definitely helps that she does not give a fuck. But the it factor when it comes to Doja Cat is very evident, just looking at the way she performs on stage and commands an audience. There's just so many intangibles going on there. I mean, yes, choreography can be learned, to sing can be learned, but there's something so natural about how she commands a stage, as if she was born to do it. You can tell she loves what she does and inspires you as the viewer to be the greatest you can be in all that you do. Doja Cat also has the look, from her fashion choices to costumes. She knows how to not only incorporate her sexuality in what she wears, but also her individuality. She's super diverse in her looks and not scared to take risks. On one hand, she would look very classy and elegant, while other times she'll get into her creativity bag and wear something a little more out there and eccentric. And lastly, Doja Cat just has the right attitude when it comes to this game. She's really out here prioritizing the music and trying to make the best music possible. Also, just in general, very involved in her own career, like writing the majority of her music video treatments, the fact that she even wants to incorporate full dance numbers into her performances, being heavily involved in her own production of the music, and not shying away from interviews, even though I think we will definitely see less and less of that as she gets bigger and bigger. I think Doja Cat is definitely a star, really, truly the next princess of pop, and she'll be around for a very, very long time. Night section out.